Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CarTok, where we talk everything about car. Today, let us talk about the smallest pure electric EV manufactured by Volvo to date, the Volvo EX30. This being the smallest pure electric vehicle that built by Volvo to date, it has a few quirky special features about it. So first thing first, it's being built on SE Air platform, Sustainable Electric Architecture platform, which is shared with the Geely and Zeekr cousin. For example, the Zeekr X and also the Smart #1. So all of them are the cousin of this vehicle. And fun fact, this Volvo EX30 is the first ever Volvo that being built on a pure electric vehicle platform, which means this particular vehicle, there is no other powertrain available. Let it be hybrid or pure engine. Unlike the XC40 or the C40, which is immensely popular in Malaysia. Those two other cousins, there are hybrid variant available and also pure EV variant available. The test drive vehicle that we get from Volvo Malaysia this time is the top of the range performance version with front and rear dual motor, asking for 228,000 at the moment. So let's talk about electric Volvos. When we talk about Volvo as a brand from Sweden, they are very particular on sustainability, eco-friendly, safety. It's a very Nordic thing. So we as Malaysians, especially those that stay in Quebec Valley, are no stranger to the Swedish culture. For example, the famous IKEA furnitures and all the products that are from there do have their own special flair, and this nonetheless is belong to those. That's why you see this car, it doesn't look like something that designed or something that came out from IKEA. They are having the same design language. So let's talk a little bit about Volvo when it comes to electrification. At 2025, when we talk about electrification on vehicles, EVs, all we know about or all we heard about is all the new China brands, for example, BYDs or GACs and Zeekrs, all those. But Volvo actually began their venture in electric vehicle as early 2003-2004, where they debuted a pure electric variant of a C30, which is a 2-door or 3-door small hatchback manufactured by Volvo back then. It's a very chic thing, CHIC, a very chic thing back then. And after that, Volvo did not continue on pure electric vehicle, but they have utilized all their resources on the famous twin engine setup, which is a hybrid and plus a 2.0 liter supercharged turbocharged engine, which is very famous, is the XC60 in Malaysia, CKD in Klang if I'm not mistaken. So after that, they have gained enough experience and expertise when it comes to electrification, and just not long ago, actually it's about 2 or 3 years ago, they have decided to go for a pure EV. After they gain enough experience on the twin engine product lineup, let it be the XC40, XC60, XC90, all of them. Those all are not pure electric vehicle. Those all are hybrid vehicle. And this is actually considered as one of their first ever dedicated electric vehicle. And being their first product, they aim their market to young and entry level. So that's the reason why this, you can understand it as the slightly more atas Swedish Myvi. So let's talk about the exterior design of this Volvo EX30. When I go through all the press release and done my small part of research when I'm preparing to review this car and present about this car, there's one keyword that keep on popping up. It's not a surprise given that this is a Nordic car designed by a Swedish designer, so they will keep on talking about the Swedish elements, the design features, blah blah blah. So the exterior of it is actually inspired by a piece of Swedish pebble rock where water flow on top of it, and that's why it creates a blocky yet curved angles on the edges. It's actually a piece of rock, all those stuff. Then you have the tall hammer design headlamp, where if you know about Volvo, you will not be familiar about. It's almost everywhere in their design. It's a very successful design feature. Then you have this grille, where it's not a grille, it's just a stripe here that represent the Volvo arrow. You have the side profile here with one straight line and the clamshell bonnet line. All of this is very Volvo. Being a Swedish car where they are very good on designing a little quirky product and not to go over shouty, at first glance, it looked a little bit too clean and too simple. The more you look at it, the more minor design features that you will notice. For example, the wheel arches here, there's a small line here, one signature profile line here. The roof line that actually goes on two different directions. One signature line is at here and another one is at here. So it managed to create a visually sloping roof line without being actually too sloopy. And you have this signature piece, okay, and here continue another slope here. Is this a car with striking design? Not really, because there's too many weird oddball out there. Some of them being spaceship, some of them being cyber age, but this does not look out of places. At least at the first glance, you can tell it is a car. It is something that came out from a cyberpunk game, maybe. It's not over futuristic. It has its own flair. So for those who like this design language, they will love it very much. For those who prefer to go for crazy cyber age thingy, they wouldn't look at this car from the beginning. If you ask me personally, I like it. I like it very much. And as a matter of fact, Volvo itself does have a list of accessories package that covers exterior and interior. For example, the roof basket, okay, and some of the special design inside, like the headrest and carpets, whatnot. They have their own official accessories for you to personalize your vehicle. In case you think that this is too hatchback, it's too urban, not off-roady enough, in other market, not in Malaysia yet, they have something called EX30 Cross Country, where this part is being blacked out. The ride height is slightly higher with all-terrain tire. It's more rugged and off-roady. So the simplicity and clean design theme continues on the rear end of the vehicle and the C-pillar. So you have this small EX30 badge here that reminds the model of the car. A very simple and clean design touch. And you have these two pieces of the tail lamp here with a small gated design insert. So it reminds you that this is a EV. I think this is a modern design tweak thingy. Then you have this. Make no mistake, the only lamp is actually here and here. Here is empty, here is empty, but it looks nice. Anyway, so you have the Volvo wordings here. It's a very clean and sleek design without any additional kink or fuss. So it's very clean. For those who are familiar with the fancy design nowadays, you will find that a little bit too boring, but for me I think it's just alright. And one design feature at the rear door here is this very clean cutting line, but this cutting line does have a price to pay. Later I will review in the interior session. So when you talk about the design of the EX30, undoubtedly it's a Swedish design, it's Volvo, it's nice. So I wouldn't call it sporty. It's more of a modern, sleek, urban. Yep, it's more fashion, but it's the clean type of fashion, not the fancy type of fashion. So when you look at the exterior, you wouldn't think that this is a sporty car. Yes, but actually under the sheepskin, it's actually a roof inside. It's surprisingly nice to drive, which I will review later. As usual, what you can see is the beautiful rim here. Okay, some call it boring, but I believe it's more of an aerodynamic efficiency concern in mind. This is considered a diamond cut, and if you notice, this is actually just a piece of cover. This 19-inch wheel, tire size of 245/45, it's wrapped on Goodyear Efficient Grip Performance tires. Is this set of tires enough for this vehicle? This vehicle is about 1.8 to 1.9 ton. I will say just enough. It's not ultra grippy, but it's not too shabby either. Front suspension, as usual, is front McPherson and rear multi-link setup. It's very normal. It's not like the BYD Seal where it uses the front double wishbone whatnot. It's a typical setup, but the way that Volvo tuned this car, it's quite surprisingly well. Okay, they know what they are doing with the driving department of this vehicle. As this is a dual motor electric vehicle, there's a front electric motor and a rear electric motor. There's two different setups. The front motor is 156 horsepower output and the rear motor is 258 horsepower of output. So if you opt for the Ultra variant, where it's the long range without front motor, slower acceleration, longer range, then you only get this motor, the 256 horsepower main motor. As this is the high performance version, you have a combined output of the front and rear combined output is 428 horsepower and 543 Newton meter of torque. It doesn't sound as much, but let's remember this car, number one, is built on a SEA platform whereby the weight is not too heavy. This is only about 1.8 tons. It's considered okay in EV world. And number two, the battery management system in this vehicle is very good. So combine both, it actually managed to create a driving experience that I would say is more than what the numbers suggest. When we talk about a family SUV, even though Volvo says it's SUV, I would view this more of a hatchback and less of an SUV. As I've mentioned, this is actually a Swedish electric Myvi on their standard. Boot space is essential. It's ultra important. Open this boot is by pressing this button. In this boot, I'm not going to talk about all the numbers. Okay, you have this 12-volt socket here for you to connect your camping equipment, whatnot. There is one small Easter egg. The Nordic design codes came out again, whereby they have printed this small little graphic here to show you what can be fitted into the cabin. So for example, you have baby stroller, you have pot of plants, you have a luggage, you have golf bag, a lamp that I think you're supposed to buy from IKEA or whatnot, then golf bag again, so all of this. I never seen this on another car. Most of the time they just print a piece of paper and stick it as a sticker, but they make it into the plastic molding. Is it really practical to do so? No, but is it nice to look at? Yes. It's a very designer thing, very fancy. Then in the boot, you have those hooks for you to hook your camping equipment again. Then at this tray, underneath, you can store your charging cables. Spare tires? No. You have your recharging kit. Your tire repair kit. So, yep, as I say, this is a Volvo or Swedish Myvi. In case the boot space is not enough for you, being an EV, it also has a frunk. So underneath this clamshell bonnet, you have this small compartment here where you can store your stuff, not big. And you have also this special Easter egg again, all the beers or whatnot. Yeah, you also have a car here which look like the shape of this car, the EX30. When it comes to a major drawback or major design flaw, it's actually here. Under this beautiful cutting line, okay, you would imagine that the door also have an opening or a cutting that's similar size with this. But wait till you open the door. Do you notice anything? So, number one, the opening angle is rather small, okay, which will create a very small, very inconvenient ingress and egress. Number two, the door panel is very thick. So for this, you can say it's for the safety purposes, where maybe inside they have the safety bar, the impact bar, the structure, whatnot. Okay, let it be. But the major drawback is actually here, the ingress and egress. So you can see this is actually the actual opening or the cutting of the door panel. But all this area here, I think it's because of the SEA platform, where those hooks are not able to change the position. All those space here, they are not able to alter. And what is the drawback of this? It creates an extremely small ingress and egress, especially for somebody like my size. I am 180 centimeter tall and I have a rather long legs. So just look at how I get in and get out of the car. Get in. You can see my thigh is hitting on here. And for me to get out from the car, same thing. Here it's actually intruding to my thigh. So yes, this is actually the biggest drawback for our Volvo EX30. It's the ingress and egress, it's the rear passenger space. I wouldn't say Volvo do not know this, but because this car is aimed to the younger generation, perhaps without children or with children, so they think this is considered as acceptable given the sexy line that it creates on the door panel. Are you able to accept this floor back? Let me know. As I have just demonstrated from the outside, the small opening, ingress, egress, of the rear cabin. Unfortunately, the bad news doesn't stop there. So as you can see, I sit inside this rear cabin. Make no mistake, it's a very comfy cabin. Granted, you are not very particular on space. So headroom, plenty of them, thanks to this panoramic sunroof without sunshade. You have quite a wide. What's the floor bag? The first floor bag is, there's not much knee room, okay? And there's not much room for you to keep your feet under the seat as well, because of the raised floor pan due to the battery. Then you have no center armrest. Then you have no place to keep your stuff other than the big pocket in the door panel and this little Tupperware. They have their another design quirks again with the Nordic element. You have this a deer or eel, I don't know the name of this animal. Then you have the trees. Okay, so when we read the presentations of Volvo, the interior design team, they said it's easy for you to take this out and bring back to your home or where to wash it. So yeah, this is a place for you to store stuff. Okay, and what special feature you have here, or what convenient feature you have here? You do not have oh my god handle. There's no such thing. And you have this hook for you to hook the clove hook. Okay, there's no pocket here too. I do not know why. And to open your window, there's no button here on all 4 door panels. Okay, Volvo claim is for the sustainable reason, where it's less wiring and less components on the door pocket, blah blah blah. So the only way to access it is by here. Okay, it's being locked in front of the child lock. So this is the only button here. No aircon vent, no nothing. So as much as I personally like this car, I have to say there's a lot of work to be done to improve the rear seat experience. Okay, Volvo Malaysia, please don't cancel us. So when we get into the front passenger seat, things get way better. You have this seat with this is actually very Volvo. It's a Volvo sculptured seat. The difference is just the material that they use. In this Volvo EX30, they very emphasize on the recyclable material that they use. For example, the floor mat that being manufactured from recycled fishnets. This blue panel here and the door pocket are all made out from recycled denim. It's denim jeans, that's why the blue hue here. Then you have this one stripe ambient light, which is again Nordic inspired. You have these aircon vents here that remind you the iceberg of the North Pole, whatnot. So yes, it's a very nice interior to be in, and again it reminds you of Volvo. You have this very nice door handle here. And other than that, there's not much to talk about the door handle. The power window switches is still at here, and you have this center island. They have these cup holders, or you can make it become your pocket, your phone holder, anyhow you like it. So it just feels like something that designed from IKEA. Okay, and not just this, you have these two, where you can keep your stuff inside this pocket. You have chargers here. One major fallback of the front seat. So we talk about the rear seat. What's the fallback? The small ingress egress, the lack of center armrest, okay, the lack of space, okay, the buttons are not that easily accessible. So when you talk about front passenger seat, or should I say the front seat overall, there's not much drawback. The space is adequate, okay. The features is more. You have this special IKEA piece to be play with. But what's the major drawback for me is the accessibility when it comes to the glove box or whatnot. So it's a Volvo, so I would imagine it to be overemphasized on safety, which means they need to keep driver focus on the road all the time without any distractions. But this design, it's a bit against that philosophy. So in order to access the only glove box here, you need to go to the screen and find the icon to open it. There's no physical button or physical lock to open, so which means you cannot operate it blindly. you have to go through the menu and find. So there's multiple way of doing it. The first way is go to the vehicle setting here, and you have to find the glove box button here, and it will open here. The other way is you can go to the quick access panel here. But again, why have to be this complicated where it can be settled by just a physical lock? So I do not understand. Okay, other than that is here, there's no glove box. There's no coin box. So the only storage space you have is this multi-purpose Tupperware piece and this corridor here. It's like a kitchen, or it's like a pantry design, but here all the spaces are opportunity wasted. So yeah. So when it comes to the practicality and the utility of this vehicle, no matter it's rear passenger seat or the front passenger seat, it's just a little bit lacking. It's not to say bad, because it still have a lot of these small design features where it helps you to store all your stuff, your handbags and whatnot. It's still convenient, but you can't help but think actually Volvo can do better in this department. So especially this. I mean, what is this? Okay, the glove box is okay. I just don't like the way that they open the glove box. So enough about the bad news. So let's talk about the infotainment system and the entertainment system. So I'm in the most enjoyable seat in this Volvo EX30. So safe to say, Volvo designed this vehicle with driver focus design philosophy. I don't know, because I don't feel like it's 100% driver focus as well, but never mind, let's cut the crap. So first thing first is, you look at this thing here. It's actually a sound bar that manufactured by Harman Kardon. Inside there's 6 drivers, or in layman terms it's 6 speakers plus under seat subwoofer. So the purpose of them integrate all the speakers at here is because the sound can be deflected by the windscreen to the cabin, and at the same time it saves a lot of the wirings and the components on the door pocket and the door panel, in the name of, yes, sustainability. Okay, you can see it's a very clean cabin. There's no screen, no nothing. HUD here, no. Screen here, no. This is actually driver monitoring system, so that it detects the driver condition. If you yawn while you drive, or if you scroll your phone when you drive, it will pop warning here. So small square-ish steering wheel, which is very nice to hold, and very communicative steering feedback. Then other than that, let's talk about elephant in the room, which is this piece of screen here. So this piece of screen here is actually, I would refer it as an Android tablet. Okay, why? Because this is actually Google Drive OS or Google OS tab, where everything is designed by Google. So you can see the map here is default Google Map, and you have this small column here to tell you what's the car situation right now. So what is the range remaining, what is the battery remaining, and you have this PDI and your gear selector here, all the engine warning light here, so you can change it by here. So it's a more simpler layout just here. So imagine this car can go 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds, and you need to be very focused and attentive while you are performing that stupid hooligan. Looking here, and the car just zoom, go in front, and all the things just whoosh behind. And it's a good idea for you to know what speed you are in to overdo it. The problem is you need to move your point of vision here and go back again. So that time itself, I don't think is safety. The car will just move too fast. Okay, that's just one major drawback when it comes to the driver's position. But other than that, the ergonomics is alright. You have this very nice center armrest and the armrest here. Then let's talk about the system of the vehicle. You have this car status, where it can check the tire pressure here. Okay, and next is the settings. So this vehicle, I'm not sure it's intentionally done by Volvo or Google or not. They tend to make things simpler in a way that it's only on or off. There's no fine-tuning available, or there's no multiple or millions things to be adjusted. So for example, let's go to driving. So you can have this. It's either pilot assist or speed limiter. Pilot assist is something that are very famous in Volvo. It's actually called a semi-autonomous driving. So you can use this, or either you go for the speed limiter where you can adjust, can limit the speed of the vehicle in case you have the key for your kids. So you can activate the speed limiter to 120 or 130 km per hour. So then you have this driving dynamics, one pedal drive, on or off. That's it. There's no fine tuning for the regen or whatnot. Steering feel, okay. You have soft, medium, firm. That's all. Performance all-wheel drive. So this is for you to go fast or go far. Choose one. You also can turn off the ESC here. Other than that, not much. That's all. Then you have this sound setting where you can go to adjust the Quantum Logic surround sound or the equalizer, to adjust the subwoofer and all the EQ presets on different frequency. Yeah, it seems complicated, but it's not so complicated. But when it needs to be complicated, it's not complicated enough. Okay, so this is something that I feel Volvo need to be worked on. But all those you can adapt and learn. So for example, you need to turn on the double signal and whatnot. All those you can adapt and learn. The aircon, the volume can be adjusted from the steering wheel, so it's not too bad. Only complicated for the passenger. The only drawback or the major complaint I have here is, please Volvo, maybe can put a small screen here or a HUD here, so at least I have an idea how fast I'm going without the need of moving my eye focal point to here. I think that's rather dangerous. Other than that, minor complaint, yes, but not major fallback. How does it feels like to drive this Volvo EX30? The version that we get from Volvo Malaysia, it's EX30 Performance. That's not the full name. The full name is rather long, so I will just use EX30 Performance as a reference. At the first glance, we all thought, okay, not just me, and also all the others member from CarTok thought mine, this is just a simple family-friendly Volvo EV. Then it wouldn't be that nice to drive, but actually once we have driven it, we are all wrong. This Volvo EX30 is surprisingly fun to drive and is dangerously quick. So it will caught you off guard, and all in a sudden you look at the speedometer and oh snap, what kind of speed I'm doing in. Why is that so? Because the way that Volvo designed this car, thanks to the very well feedback steering, quick ratio steering, very well feedback brake and the acceleration pedal, and also the suspension setup is rather supple yet communicative. So all in all, the car managed to provide you a well feedback, a good enough feedback that let the driver gain enough confidence to exploit the performance. And if you are the kind of hot-headed driver or spirited driver, when you are driving this car, you will notice that, oh, okay, I can push the car. Let me explode it more. Let me explode it more. And the more you try it, the more it intoxicates you. And next thing you know, you look at the speedometer, you are at the speed that you are not supposed to do. This car accelerates very, very fast, very, very quick. Not a news in EV world. 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds. It's quite quick. And also top speed for all Volvo limits at 180 km per hour. What scary is you can actually exploit the power and the acceleration all the way at 180 km per hour. Sometimes even manage to achieve that in less than 10 seconds. So before you notice, you are already attacking corners and going straight line at crazy speeds, and it delivers. So like, what the? It might look very eco-friendly, simple, but no. Actually, this car is, you can even build it as a performance hot hatch. It's scary. Ooh. And it also corners well, where the steering is quick and communicative. Even though those seats are the typical Volvo seat, it provides enough lumbar support. It clamps you into the waist and you are able to exploit the car. So what the I have been driving this car for about 2 to 3 days, and I have to say I'm being spoiled by this car in terms of the driving department. The only car that came close to this car, maybe Tesla Model 3P or BYD Seal, but BYD Seal is different feeling. If you ask me prefer this or BYD Seal, I will prefer this, weirdly, because I am able to exploit the power.
and the car is willing to talk to me. It is a Volvo, it is an EV, it was not supposed to do that, but it's doing this. Like, what? I mean, I'm rather speechless, not because it's bad, but it's exceeding my expectation. It's not supposed to be a Volvo. If you tell me this is a Golf R or Golf GTI, okay, yeah, makes sense, but this is a Volvo. It was not supposed to do this, but it's doing this, and it did it pretty well. So one thing that I'm very impressed by the Volvo EV is, unlike other all EVs, where because they want to impress you, they will create a very sensitive throttle pedal where you step a little bit, then it accelerates rapidly. The ratio between your throttle and the power output is not that well calibrated, but Volvo, they know what they are doing in this department. So especially the driving department. So when you are driving it sensibly, your feet on the throttle pedal about 10 to 20%, it just accelerates gently. And at this moment, it's just a typical Sweden Myvi. So use it as a daily car, no problem. It's gentle, okay, and it treats you well, not going to impress you or anything. But if you put your foot down gently, you will notice something that bizarrely similar to the high CC cars in the 90s or in the 2010s, where the more you step on the throttle, the more it accelerates, and the behind there it's the fastest side. So I'm not sure if you guys get what I'm trying to say, but when it comes to the throttle calibration, it's not ultra sensitive, so that driver will caught off guard if they just get into the car. But for those who wanted to accelerate and they are determined to accelerate, you step on the throttle pedal, and the last 20% or the last 10%, that's the region where the car releases all the power. And despite this throttle setup, this car still managed to achieve the 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds and go 180 in no time. So it's very impressive. The brake, it's also able to create a very good confidence. If you want to stop, you just stop. And when we talk about brake in EV, this car does not have multiple settings. It only have one pedal drive, on or off. Do you want to set the region to strong or weak? No. There's nothing to be said about. It's plain simple. There's nothing to be tuned. You want the throttle to be more sensitive or less sensitive? No. Do you want sport mode, eco mode, or normal mode? No. All you can do is just turn on and off for the all performance mode, where it will emphasize range over performance or not. One thing that you can adjust here, and the other is one pedal mode, on and off. Just two. Nothing more, just two. Okay, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I will let you to decide. But for me, I feel like sometimes life is better to be easier. It's not like this car is not complicated enough.
So let's talk about conclusion of this vehicle, the Volvo EX30. This car, if I would like to put a conclusion on it, it has a lot of S. The first one will be the style. This car undoubtedly is a Nordic style vehicle, no matter exterior and interior. It's very stylish, okay? It's very fashionable in some way. And speed, the second S. No doubt, this car is a fast car. And what more scary or what more interesting, depends on your perspective, is it allows you to explore the speed. It allows you to explore the potential, the handling and the acceleration, the braking. It's a formidable driving machine. I can't believe I say that, but this is the only EV so far that let me feel that. It gave me literal spine chills and shiver after I drive it. It's the speed chill. Despite BYD seal, theoretically speaking, is the better driver car, but don't look down on the driving dynamic of this vehicle, okay? The second S is speed. So the third S is actually the substance. This car, Volvo have made a lot of effort to promote the sustainability philosophy of their brand by creating the recyclable denim, the recyclable fish nets that make into carpets, recycled fabric, the recycled leather, 30% less carbon emission, recycled aluminium body frame, all the stuff, which is actually a Volvo philosophy when it comes to the sustainability. all of those as the speed, the substance, the style is enough to justify Volvo EX30 shortcomings when it comes to the practicality and the utility aspects. Because I think there's no perfect car, but there are cars that are extremely well at what they are doing. Oh yeah, let's not forget about safety. Yes, I might be complaining about the lack of screen here and the center glove box where it might contradict with Volvo philosophy when it comes to safety. But let's not forget that this is still a Volvo where it has a lot of Volvo's special safety feature. For example, the Pro Pilot Assist where it's a semi-autonomous driving. It also have autonomous parking, or they call it the parking assist. It has this cross traffic alert, the door alert, all the stuff that try to do their best to maintain your safety. So if you drive it as it should be in a sensible speed, most of the shortcoming that I say will not be the problem for you. With the asking price of 208,000, it is not a bad deal in EV world. Granted, it's a smaller size than other Chinese competitor. If you ask me, I would buy this in a heartbeat if I can afford it and if I wanted an EV. If you like what we are doing, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share our video. We also have an Instagram page and a website at the moment.